I'm about to start praying to like every god I can think of to help me get these words out of my mouth. Gosh, I've had a hard time talking today. You guys ever get like that? Anyway, this is what I'm looking for. So this is like a really casual video response to Sasha's video about, hang on, natural lip stain here. Her video about conversing with the tarot, how she does tarot readings, how she talks to her decks and things like that. And it was really interesting and you need to go watch it. And just like a disclaimer, everything that I say in this video is not to contradict anything that she says. You know, we're different people, we're friends, we know each other. And we have different reading styles and we have different reading experiences. So nothing that I say here, even though it's not similar to what she was saying, it's like not a contradiction, you know? Like, she has her experience and I have mine. And I just thought it would be interesting to give a different experience, a different account, I guess. Sasha and a lot of other readers, and I tried to subscribe to this myself, like really hard in the past. Like, a lot of readers feel like each individual deck, like this is the Extraordinary Oracle. I'll just go ahead and pull that out. And my universal weight here. Like each deck has its own personality. And a lot of times they talk to their decks when they do readings, you know, like they're asking the deck what it has to show them. They do interviews with their decks. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that it's not possible or that it's wrong or anything like that. That's just, it never really worked that well for me because I didn't realize that that's just not the way that I read, the way that I study. That's not my practice. So while I will agree that every deck has its own artistic style and its own form of symbolism sometimes, you know, I don't, to me, you know what, this is a tarot card, it's just a piece of paper. And I know that like lots of tarot readers are like jumping out of their seats and they're throwing things around and they're outraged right now. But I hate to say it, that's what I think. Like this is paper. That's all it is, just a piece of paper. And now the cool thing about this piece of paper is that a lot of thought went into this piece of paper. And every single symbol, every single color, everything in here means something. It is the system that I practice. I practice the system of tarot. I do not, and when I do readings, I'm reading the system. I'm not reading the cards. The cards themselves are not the energy. I don't know. I don't really think that each deck has its own energy in and of itself. I think that the user puts the energy in the deck, if that makes sense. And when I do a reading, I'm not getting advice from the cards. And not that Sasha said this, by the way. This is my experience. You know, I'm not reading what the card wants, the deck itself wants me to hear, you know? Like, I'm not getting messages from the deck itself, I'm getting messages from the system, from the symbolism, from my own intuition. You know, this is just like a conduit, a medium through which my own knowledge can work, my knowledge of the system works. And honestly, this is just a new thought that I just had, so I'm just going to spit it out there because that's what I do. I kind of think that hypothetically, theoretically at this point, I haven't really put this into use, you might not even need a tarot deck to do a tarot reading. You might not need a deck at all. Like if someone is talking to you, you can instantly, and I know that I can do this, I instantly think you're in an Eight of Swords situation, or you're in a Two of Cups situation, or you're in a Hermit situation, or a Death situation, you know, things like that. And just your knowledge of the tarot and the symbolism and just your own ability to put two and two together, you know, you can give someone advice based on that, and you don't even need a deck of cards to do it. Now you need a deck of cards, or at least a book about the tarot to study the system, but that's just something that I'm spitting out there. I'm brainstorming out loud basically right now. I'm just thinking out loud. So it's gonna be a little bit rambly today. So yeah, these are just really cool, awesome, beautiful pieces of paper to me. I don't think the deck is an entity in and of itself. I don't think that it has its own special energy, and I don't rely on that in readings. I rely on my knowledge of the symbolism in each card and my understanding and my ability to intuitively or knowledgeably interpret what's going on in a card. Now, that still applies with oracle decks too. Like, this is the Extraordinary Oracle, which I absolutely adore. It's my favorite oracle deck right now. And you know, I still may stray away from like the knowledge that is in the guidebook. This goes with tarot decks too, and I'll just go with whatever comes up intuitively. Like last night I got the Hermit reversed, and for some reason, right when I saw the Hermit reversed, like I saw this bright flash of light, like it was happening right in front of me, you know? And I instantly heard the words light at the end of the tunnel. And so even though that's not necessarily something that's ever associated, or that I would ever associate with the Hermit reverse, I still go with that intuitive pull, especially when it's that blatant and in my face. Like, I hear the words and I see the flash of light, you know? But again, I don't believe that it was the card itself that caused any of that. It's just my own ability to be open to, you know, everything going on in the ethereal realm, if you want to call it that. So yeah, they're just decks to me. They don't have their own specific energy. I used to try to believe that, and I even used to say it, but I think there was a part of me that always was like, no, it's not the deck, it's me interpreting the deck, the cards, you know? So that's one thing that I wanted to put out there, now that I've offended everybody. So when I read for people, the tarot deck, I don't want to say, it's not irrelevant because it's a tarot reading, but it's not, I don't know how to put this. It's like, I do connect with people's guardians and guides because that is something that I do, and I connect energetically to their situation, and I read the cards, and I can, but when I see a card, let me grab. So if I pull a tarot card, the way that I do the reading, the way I put two and two together is that certain images within the card will stand out to me, and that's my intuition telling me, like, this aspect of the card is what needs to be talked about. This is what applies to the person and their situation. So it'll be the Page of Cups. If I'm particularly drawn to the fish coming out of the cup, instead of saying that this Page of Cups is someone coming into their life, or that they're, you know, embarking on a new artistic journey or anything along those lines of like it being a person or their journey or starting something new, like it often is, I'll say, well, you know, the fish is coming out of the cup. I'll put it more eloquently, of course, but you know, that means that you're going to be receiving a message, you know, and it's just whatever my intuition pulls me to in the card that helps me string the message along throughout the entire reading. And I really wanted to mention that I think it's really, really important to know your symbolism. You have to know the symbolism, in my opinion, in order to do that, because it's just so important, and I think it's so overlooked, especially these days. A lot of people are getting into the tarot for the first time, and that's wonderful. I think there needs to be like an army of tarot readers out there, but you've got to study. I really do believe that you have to know what things mean, what the colors mean, what the symbols themselves mean, like know the history attached to the symbols in the cards. Like, that's what really counts to me. It's not the cards themselves, it's not the deck. The deck itself does not make you a reader, it does not make you a good reader. It is your ability to understand what's going on in the cards and apply it to the querent. And again, like, Sasha didn't say anything like contradictory to this. Like, I saw her video and I was like, that's so cool. I want to talk about my experience with tarot and some of my thoughts, and I really just wanted to like talk out loud today, make this video. But I wanted to pull out specifically, if I can find it really quickly, the Death card, because in the Death card, I'll see it in just a second. You know, there's so many symbols that you can pick up on. It's one of my favorite cards. And it's a great illustration as to why you should really know your stuff. Because it adds so much to your reading. Here we are. Okay, so we have the Rosicrucian Rose up here. The white rose, right? Rosicrucian Rose. It's hard for me to say. Which has the equal armed cross within it, which it's a hermetic symbol that basically stands for purity and the unification of all of the elements and things like that. So from that we know that this is a pure, like a rebirth through purification kind of situation. You could tie that into your reading. You could look at the river down here. A lot of people speculate that the river in the bottom of the card is actually the river Styx, which is found in a lot of different mythologies. You know, you would have to know that these two pillars in the background are reflected in many other cards, specifically the High Priestess, which is, you know, she's surrounded by two pillars, you know, Yahin and Boaz from the Kabbalistic Tree of Life. There's just so many different directions that you could take one card in, and it depends on what your eyes are drawn to, what your intuition is drawn to, and the deeper symbolism contained within that image, you know? That's why it's so important to know your stuff, people. I mean, come on, study. Study. I feel like I really got off track. I don't even know if this was like a proper video response. That's just kind of what decided to come out of my mouth today. God knows I've had so much trouble talking today. So if any of this made sense or intrigued you, please let me know. Please go watch Sasha's video. It was really cool. I really admire Sasha as a reader and an astrologer and just as a fellow human being. She's so smart. She's just a great person. You really need to go check her out if you haven't already. I mean, I'm sure you have, but if you haven't, get on that. So yeah, just let me know what you think. Let's talk in the comments below. I love talking to all of you. Have any questions, I will try my best to answer. And namaste. See you next time.